Hi there. Today I want to teach you a meditative and grounding technique that you can use whenever you're feeling overwhelmed or anxious. So this particular technique was taught to me by a professor of mine when I was in grad school, and it's based on the idea that if we can get back into our body, if we can speak to some of the primitive parts of our brain that get activated whenever we are feeling triggered or anxious or overwhelmed, if we can speak to some of those parts of our brains and tell them that we're okay, that then the rest of our nervous system will follow suit. That's the idea behind this. And what research has told us is that some of those more primitive parts of our brain that are the ones that get us activated when we're feeling anxious actually speak the language of our sensations, of our physical body sensations. And so when we can get back in touch with our physical body sensations, if we can ground through those physical body sensations, then it speaks to those parts of our brains that are activated in a way that is more effective than us telling ourselves to calm down or having someone else tell us to calm down. As you know, when you're feeling anxious, agitated, scared, angry, if someone says calm down, it usually does the exact opposite of that, right? So what these techniques are designed to do is to speak to those parts of your brain without saying calm down. It calms them down by looking at the sensations. So we're going to do this skill together. We're going to practice this. So if you have a piece of paper and a pen handy, if you can go grab that, we're going to do this together, okay? I also want to share with you some resources. So if you'll stick around to the end of this, or if you don't want to do this exercise, that's okay. You can skip to the end, and I've got some resources for you that I've kind of gathered over the last few days. So I want to give you those too. All right. So what I want you to do, get a piece of paper, take your hand, trace your hand on the paper. Okay. Now I'm going to do this with you. I'm also going to do mine pretty quickly just for the sake of time and to keep this video kind of concise. But please push pause, slow it down, do this at your own pace. I want this to be an effective intervention for you. So this intervention works in real time, so you can take pieces of this, and when you're feeling anxious, if you can remember to do some of these things of getting yourself inside in the physical sensations of your body, if you can remember to do that when you're feeling triggered or anxious, that is a great time to do it. It's a great time. And often, as you may know, when we're triggered, when we're feeling really agitated, we can't remember what we're supposed to do. I know I'm that way. If I'm really angry, really frustrated, really worked up, scared, triggered, anxious, I can't always remember all these wonderful things that I've read in all these books and studied and even taught. So I like to have little anchors, little reminders of things to do. And so when we do this exercise, I want you to be able to have this so you can put it on your fridge, hang it in your office, put it somewhere so that you can have like an anchor to remind you what you can do when you're feeling overwhelmed. So, all right, so you got your hand, okay? Assign your 5 senses to your fingers. So 1 sense for 1 finger, okay? So let's see. We have smell, touch, sight, sound, and taste. Okay? Now, inside your hand, inside your fingers that you drew, I want you to identify 2 things in each of those categories that you have readily available to you at any given moment. So you can do the things that are available to you right now, right here in this very moment, or something that you could always just go grab. Okay? We'll do these and I can explain that second part of that, like for grabbing something. Okay, so like I said, fast forward through this. I'm going to do this really quickly on this piece of paper. And I mean, you can pause this and fill in your own hand. Okay? So I smell the outdoors. I have my window open right here. It's beautiful out. Touch. My desk is nice and cool and smooth. I see trees blowing in the wind. I think I see a squirrel out there too. What do I hear? I hear my white noise machine. I hear water. Taste. I taste some chocolate because I just got into my kids' Easter candy. I don't know whose idea it was to keep hidden Easter candy in my office. It was my idea. Okay. All right. So hopefully you have some things. Now, taste is one that I typically only have like one for each one of these, right? Because you're either eating or drinking something, or you kind of have an aftertaste of something in your mouth, but usually there's not a whole lot going on in that department. So the reason I said write down something that you can have readily available to you, if you always have a bowl of mints, or if there is a flavor that reminds you of something pleasant or comfortable. Maybe your grandmother always had butterscotches. You had a great relationship with your grandmother. And so when you smell butterscotch or you taste a butterscotch candy, it makes you feel comfortable and warm and brings a lot of wonderful memories. So taste is one where you might have to just write something down that's kind of in your environment that you don't actually have readily available on your body at the moment, but something that you could get, a piece of gum, a fizzy water, a cup of coffee, something. Okay. All right. So once you have your list, here's my little list. Once you have your list of your 5 sensations, this is when I encourage you to hang this up, put it in your office, put it on your refrigerator, make note somewhere of these 5 senses that you always have with you. One of the reasons why we used your hand is because then you can take your hand and you can start imagining these things on your hand. When you're feeling triggered, when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling overwhelmed and anxious, you're still going to have your hand with you. And you can say, okay, count it all. What's something I taste? Okay, I don't taste anything. I don't have time for that. What's something I hear? What's something I can see? What's something I can touch? What's something I can smell? So you can count these things off and really focus on the things that are in your environment that you can smell, touch, see. This is a skill that you can teach your children. This is a skill that you can use yourself. This is a skill that you can teach to pretty much anybody. And there's a lot of really amazing research about why this works and how this works. And I would love to talk to you about that further. I want to keep this concise based on time. But if you need someone to walk you through this a little more with more detail, feel free to call me, talk to me, send me an email, whatever you need to do. And I'm happy to talk you through some of this. Some of this is based on the Community Resiliency Model, which is, or CRIM, if you're familiar with that. It was designed by the Trauma Resource Institute. So I throw both of those names out there because those are some really good websites and things that you can, get to on your phone. And they have a lot of resources that are based on this exact thing about getting in your body. There's actually an app. So I made a note of some stuff I wanted to tell you. There's an app that you can get to through the Community Resiliency Model website. And it's called ichillapp.com. So ichillapp.com. There's an overview of some of the skills like I just did with you just now, and there's several more skills on there. So I encourage you to go to that website. From what I could tell when I did a search on my computer, it was free. Most likely it's an actual app because it says iChill app. I don't know if you'd have to pay for the app. I haven't looked that far, but I do know on the website it is free for you to look at those resources. So I encourage you to go there. There were also a few more that I wanted to mention to you really quickly. Headspace is an app. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. It is an app that you have to pay for a subscription, but if you have an NPI number, so if you are a healthcare worker of some kind and you have an NPI number, you can get that for free right now. There's also a Balance app. It's a meditation app. It's called Balance. And they are offering right now a 1-year subscription for free. I just downloaded it. It works. I did a meditation this morning. So there's that. Also, Hot Yoga of Asheville this week is doing a week of free classes. So if you'll go to their website, there's instructions on how to get to their free week of yoga classes. One more thing I wanted to mention really quick. Nope, 2 more things I wanted to mention really quickly is that Aldi is they're hiring. They have increased their wages for employees, and they also have specific hours for vulnerable customers. So if you fall into any of those categories, needing a job, or you're a vulnerable customer, a vulnerable population, you can go there during certain hours, and they're limiting the people that can get in. The last thing I wanted to mention really quickly is that I got an email from someone who is in the community, a friend of mine, and was talking about mortgage forbearance. I'm not sure if it's already been passed or if it's already in place, but it looks like there might be some mortgage forbearance for this particular time that we're going through right now. So I think it's a 12-month forbearance. So look into that if it's something that you might need, and contact your bank or your mortgage holder. And if it's something you need, reach out. There's a lot of resources out there right now. Feel free to call me, email me, contact me if I can do anything, if I can be helpful. And I'm going to keep videos coming with some skills that'll hopefully be really helpful. And if there's anything specific that you'd like to learn about, hear about, just let me know. Okay? Stay healthy, stay well, and know that I'm sending a lot of peace and love